The thing that I keep coming back to was the feeling that I had in my gut up to January 6th, and partly because my wife, Kate, is a lawyer and was very read in on this stuff. And I think that people didn't recognize it then, and they still don't recognize it now, but Greg Jacob really brought it to bear. But for the Pence decision, the question of what came next was unresolved. That if Pence had gone the wrong way, that in some ways the sort of evil deviousness of the plan was that they had identified the proper weak link in the constitutional chain, that they had found the spot in the bank to break into to pull off the heist. There was one person to beat. There was one alarm to get through. It was Mike Pence. But had they gotten through, had they pressured Mike Pence, had they gotten to Mike Pence, the phrase that Greg Jacob used, which is a good phrase, the constitutional jump ball. There was no roadmap. If Mike Pence went into that joint session on January 6th and said, under my constitutional authority and authority under the Electoral Act, I say that these electors are no good. Right. And that, like, the what comes next question, which was stalking Kate in those days up to January 6th. My wife, who's a law professor, constitutional law professor, it was stalking me. And I think there was always this sense of like, this is all still crazy, or Trump's throwing a tantrum. It's like, no, like for all of their weird incompetence and bullying and the crankishness of John Eastman, the plan they happened upon, because it turned on one man. Yes. And the authority that the statute had given him on that day, they were not that far. And that's the thing that Greg Jacob.
They were wrong, but it was arguable.
They were wrong, but they had found the correct leverage point. And they had found the correct portal through which to essentially warp the nation from a constitutional democracy to one in which power was decided in the streets. And the portal was Mike Pence and a few of his advisors and Judge Luttig, who basically say, you shall not pass, thank God.
Joy? And by the way, I'm so glad that you said one man, because and not one office. They didn't find the portal through the office of the vice presidency, because the quote that has stuck with me all day is also from Greg Jacob, where he says to Eastman, do you really want Kamala Harris to have that power? I mean, wow, I wish Al Gore had that memo back in 2001.
He could have just said, I declare I win Florida.
I am president.
So ordered.
So ordered. He's like, I wish he had that memo. He didn't. And Eastman says back to him, oh, no.
Right.
Al Gore shouldn't have had that power. Nope. Kamala Harris shouldn't have that power. But we should do this today. So he didn't mean the vice presidency was the portal. He meant this one guy. And that if we can weaken him, I was struck by the relentlessness of Eastman. He keeps coming back to Greg Jacob over and over. How about this way of doing it? How about that way of doing it? They knew these were uncertified electors. You can't just say, I declare these electors. Maybe this group here, we're the electors now. We decided they're not certified. But they were relentless, and they tried to break Pence. And you're absolutely right. We were one Mike Pence away from a coup.